picture this. You're dancing with someone, the music's loud, bodies are moving, rhythm feels good, and then they step on your foot. Hard. Instinctually, you say, hey, that hurt. And they say, oh, I didn't mean to. But your foot still hurts. Their intention didn't undo the pain. And if they keep dancing the same way, you're about to get stepped on again. Impact versus intent is just a dance where one person keeps prioritizing what they meant over what actually happened and then gets irritated that you keep saying, ouch. Welcome to Uncaged Chaos. I'm Andi, certified life coach and fellow human just trying to navigate this life. This is not the podcast where we politely limp through relationships and call it emotional maturity. This is where we stop dancing in cages, where we stop calling endurance growth, and where we stop confusing good intentions with good behaviors. Today, we're uncaging impact versus intent, and we are not doing it gently. So grab your coffee, pop a squat, turn it up, and let's get into it. Intent lives in your head, while impact lives in someone else's body. When someone says, that's not what I meant, what they're really saying is, please focus on my self-image instead of your bruised foot. Intent explains the step, but impact reveals the damage. If someone is talking about impact and you're arguing intent, you're not communicating. You're defending. And that's not growth. That's a cage, just with better branding. So why do some people refuse to change their steps? Because changing your steps requires slowing down, paying attention, admitting you're not as graceful as you thought, and forcing your ego to step aside. So instead, people will argue semantics while someone else absorbs the pain. If you're more committed to being seen as a good person than changing your behavior, you're still caged. You've just redecorated the bars. So what does this look like in relationships? You say, that hurt me. They respond with, well, I was just joking. Translation, I want to keep moving exactly how I want to move, and I want you to stop reacting. So the other person adapts. They get quieter. They explain less. They learn how to dance around you. And if someone keeps stepping on your foot and calling it an accident, they're not clumsy. They're careless with you. And that's not love, that's emotional negligence. In family systems, this may sound like, you're far too sensitive. You should know I was just kidding. That's just how they are. That's not explanation. That's training. Training people to override their bodies, doubt their instincts, and stay in painful dances and call it loyalty. Families that dismiss impact don't raise strong people. They raise people who second-guess themselves into silence. And that is how cages get passed down from generation to generation. In a work and power setting, this can get tricky to identify. Now imagine the same dance, but one person controls the music. That's power. When someone with authority says, I didn't intend that, what matters is whether they change their steps. The more power you have, the more harm your unchecked impact can cause. Leadership without awareness isn't leadership, it's a liability. Dismissing impact repeatedly turns into a form of gaslighting. Gaslighting isn't just one misstep. It's being told your foot doesn't hurt while it's clearly still throbbing. Dismissing impact becomes gaslighting when you're told you imagine the pain, that you're too sensitive, or to move on while nothing changes. It can also sound like, we already addressed this, so let's move on, when the actions haven't even changed. If someone needs you to doubt your body so they don't have to change, that's not miscommunication. That's control. And control is the lock on our cage. So this is what chronic dismissal creates. It creates over-explainers, peacekeepers, people who apologize for existing, People don't lose themselves in explosions. They lose themselves by staying polite while continuously getting hurt. And that's not harmony, that's self-abandonment. So when does this stop being gaslighting? It stops being gaslighting when someone starts to shift their behavior. It can sound like, I see where I stepped wrong. That wasn't my intention, but I see the impact. I'm changing how I move. Impact first, intent second, adjustment always. So how does this repair actually start to happen? Well, repair isn't a vibe. Let's get practical. It's not intention. It's not heartfelt paragraph sent at 2 a.m. Repair is behavioral adjustment. And here's what this looks like in real life. Step 1, name the impact without defending yourself. Not, well, I didn't mean to do that, but I can see how this hurt you. If you feel the urge to explain, pause. That urge is your ego panicking, not your integrity speaking. Step 2, acknowledge without demanding forgiveness. Not, I apologize, what more do you want? But I get why that stayed with you. Forgiveness is not a receipt. You don't earn it by saying the right words, nor is it owed to you. Step 3, change something tangible. Not a blanketed, I'll try to do better next time, but I won't joke about that again. I'll ask before giving feedback. I'll stop having this conversation when I'm heated. If nothing changes, repair didn't happen. All you did was have a conversation. Now let's flip it. If you're the one who got stepped on, here's how you can advocate for yourself without shrinking. Try these out. I'm not questioning your intent. I'm talking about the impact. I need acknowledgement before we can move forward. I don't need an explanation. I just need a change. If someone hears your pain and immediately explains themselves, they are not listening. They are buffering. And that is information for you. So say repair doesn't ever really happen. Then what? This is where boundaries come into play. Not the Pinterest kind, the kind that actually protect you. A boundary is not, please understand me better. A boundary is, this doesn't work for me. If this keeps happening, I'm going to disengage from this conversation. I'm not available for jokes about that. If there is no change, I will be creating distance. Boundaries are not punishments. They are simply exit signs. They tell people how to stay in your life or how to lose access to you. So how do we know which one we need? Repair or boundary? Ask yourself, is this a misstep or is this a pattern? Do they acknowledge impact or are they just continuing to explain their intent? Does behavior change or do the conversations keep repeating? Repair happens once or twice. Patterns create boundaries. If you keep explaining the same pain, you're not being patient. You're being conditioned. Intent tells the story you tell yourself. Impact tells the truth of how you move through the world. Repair is changing your steps. Boundaries are just leaving the floor. Uncaging is choosing your body over the dance that keeps hurting you. So if you've ever felt too much, too loud, or too tired of constantly being stepped on in the dance of life, this space is for you. This is Uncaged Chaos, where finding our footing again is hard, but being human and navigating all of this together, that's the fucking point.